Hey everyone, Tony Chips here from Chiappetta Shoes. This is Workshop Live. Today we have an F20 foot type, flat, flexible, abducting all over the place. We have a custom orthotic. It's been around for about a year or so, and we have a modification that wasn't really working all that well. The first metatarsal, first ray, proximal to the first metatarsal head, was having a lot of pressure and irritation around the bottom and the side of the foot. And we're looking at right around this area here, both underneath and on the side. So about a month ago, my pops Fred put a little modification. We had a metatarsal pad plus a longitudinal arch bar. He took that off and we went with a straight heel bar and a little extra kind of scaphoid pad area, so kind of like an L right here. This modification ended up feeling worse. Now, an F20 foot type, similar to an F24, flat, flexible feet. She has a large rear foot valgus alignment and a lot of abduction and pronation. So the foot's splaying out. Her foot is flattening out in this area. Now, a lot of times when we deal with flat, flexible feet, we have to accommodate versus overcorrect. And when we have a flat foot that's rigid, we can give it good support. When we have a flat, flexible foot, oftentimes we want to go with rigid support and correct the situation, but if the body is like that, sometimes we just have to accommodate. So everybody's a little bit different. Big thing about custom orthotics or just mechanics in general is that we could see 100 of the same feet and have 100 different solutions. Everybody's body's different, life experiences, injuries, work, all that stuff plays into it. So when you make an orthotic and do adjustments, you know, it really is a custom process. You got to listen to people, you got to understand what you're dealing with. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to what we had before. We're going to go with that metatarsal support, longitudinal arch bar, because the rear foot is so pronated and flexible. It's pronating it. We are going to focus on the rear foot as one different modification. So today, we're going to go take this over to the grinder. We're going to grind this up real quick, smooth it out, and start over. So meet me over here. Okay, so we're going to start fresh. We're re-leveling everything. What I did notice, both left and right where that heel bone ends, we have a pretty large contour, a bump into the arch area. So we're going to reconstitute longitudinal arch bar, the good old dong modification right there. And we're going to use a cushion cork material. Now, this material here is great for modifications like this. I use it a lot. And we're going to get this set up in a way that we're going to reinstitute the old piece that was working. And then we're going to add one little extra variance to this equation. Looking at the F20 foot type, with a lot of flexibility in the system here, what I want to do is I want to see, because what we had on there before, this was working, but then that first ray irritation started flaring up. I want to try a little rear foot control with this one. So we're going to try a little trial of a rear foot medial wedge. Okay. Got it. So we're going to start here. And what I like to tell my people is keep it as simple as possible. If it worked before, it's probably going to work again. Just have to refreshen things up a lot of the times. All right. So Met pad plus longitudinal arch bar. 3mm cushion cork, great modification material. Usually for my heavy users, this should last a solid year. For my average weight people, 12 to 18 months. All right, so we got that. Now, we are going to do a rear foot modification too. So we're just going to do good old standard rear foot medial wedge. A little extra support.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you have the chair forward Orthotic done within an hour? If I put everything else on hold, yes. Put everything else on hold. To discuss the one now. Is she a rush? Don't. It's been 2 weeks. I want to put that out.
Okay.
I'll do the brain. Just get it moving. Okay.
Yeah. All
Let me know.
right.
That's how you do it, Chuck. What do you call it? Walk. Just after
Perfecto. Okay. So, reconstituting this piece here. Without this piece for the last month, she was having some metatarsal issues, just some extra stress. The foot abducts so much, turns to the outside and pronates in. That makes sense that when we lose the metatarsal padding, we're getting some more stress in that area. So oftentimes a standard metatarsal pad, something that's in this shape here, is going to be really beneficial for your flat feet because there's so much rotation and splaying in that area. You really want to support it properly. So, okay. All right, we're going to get this piece down here. Now, those are done. We're going to line this up right next to it. So that little extra piece, Okay. That's a better shape. Okay. Get that.
Tell them to walk on this. No, it's not the answer, but it tells me what I
Okay.
tells you what you have.
Now we're going to look at
But guys, I'm not marking
perfecto. Okay. And we're going to use the same material on here as well. With these setups, we should be good. Get some glue on real quick. And we're going to take a break in a sec, come back, get it all applied, and get this customer rolling. All right. Great. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, guys, F20 foot type, flat, flexible, splaying all over the place. We got pronation, abduction, all kinds of fun stuff. We are doing a rework of a modification prior to the refresh that we're doing here. We had more scaphoid pad and heel arch support. It was too much. It was creating too much pressure, particularly on the first ray where we added more support here. It was just causing too much pressure. So we're going back to what worked. We're covering down the middle metatarsal section, down the longitudinal arch, and then we're adding a little medial wedge just to the rear foot heel bone area. So we're going to take you top down. Moral of this story is that a lot of times you want to correct a flat foot, and with flatter feet, sometimes you just have to accommodate and fine-tune a little bit, and that's where that rear foot control is going to come from. I'm hopeful that the rear foot medial wedge does a good job of just holding the foot a little bit more in a neutral position. We're not going to take away completely that pronation and that abduction, but we're just going to support the foot in a better position. So sometimes little modifications and tweaks like this make a big difference, and that's what I'm shooting for. So we've got those two spots there. All right, we got the perfecto. Okay. Take it over here. All right, that's a wrap, folks. We got a nice, new, cleaned up modification process. Metatarsal pad, longitudinal arch bar, rear foot medial wedge. This F20 foot type is flat, flexible, a lot of abduction, a lot of pronation. Moral of this story, a lot of times it's best to accommodate versus overcorrection. And when we have the flexible situations, we want to steer the foot into the right position, but for a lot of different reasons, weight, activity, things like that, we just have to accommodate. That's what we're looking to do, fine-tuning. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a workshop live. Check us out, chiapettashoes.com. Ain't no better than Chiappetta.